Lakeside Dental Clinic, Go Island, is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic.
There was a City Council meeting here in Nanaimo on Monday, September the 8th, so today we're talking with the Mayor John Ruttan. Nanaimo South End community, Canada's greatest neighbourhood, maybe. The spirit of the drum, and even the rain won't stop the clock. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We'll be interviewing Nanaimo Mayor John Ruttan today, and then one more time before we actually enter into a media blackout. There is a municipal election coming up on November the 16th. The South End Community Association is proud of their many, many accomplishments over the last several years. Here's Annette Lucas now with a look at that tight-knit community. The Parksville Community Park is also in the running for one of the great places in Canada, as well as Sprout Lake. Those winners from across the country will be announced on November the 7th. And just a reminder that Commercial Street was voted as the best street in Canada back in 2011. That's in conjunction with Town Planning Day events. November the 7th, those winners will be announced. As I mentioned, the website, once again, www.greatplacesincanada.ca. Monday night City Council meeting focused a lot and has actually moved up on the agenda about a black box rehearsal space, Port Theatre. Where is that at right now?
Well, there's still a ways to go. It's probably a $10 to $12 million undertaking. What they're looking, the Port Theatre Group is going to try to raise around $8 to $10 million in that neighborhood. They're looking at $4.6 million from the city, and also to a financial guarantee, co-signing, if you want, of a financial instrument in the amount of around $2 to $2.2 million.
What is the community feeling that you're getting from this? I know there were a lot of delegates last night presenting in favor. Have you met with much resistance to this idea?
A few emails saying that they're opposed to it, but you know, really, when you listen to Bruce Halliday when he explained the impact that it has for the community, the kind of spin-off money that's spent in the community through the theatre, it's really quite a massive undertaking, and really, people need to understand that it's not a liability but an economic generator.
We're 2 years away from Canada's 150th birthday.
Right.
There's a big word for that I'm not going to try and say. No. There's a Build Canada plan that comes with that. How does the Port Theatre project fit into Build Canada? Well,
I'm not able to tell you whether or not they will qualify. Of course, that's the government will make that determination. But they are going to apply for that funding, and they are confident that they'll certainly get a good hearing on it, and hopefully that something will happen. I think it's a kind of purposeful funding that the province and the federal government is looking for, and it's a joint funding operation here. And I'd like to see, and I hope the province will and the federal government will entertain this, because I think it's a worthwhile investment.
Mm-hmm. And it was a partnership in the end between the City of Nanaimo.
That's correct, and the Port Theatre Society.
Excellent. Okay, now it was suggested that this issue be put to referendum, kind of an indication that we're in gearing up quickly to election mode, because there were other items that were suggested should go to referendum. We're going to talk about that after a short break. Still to come today, the healing power of the drum, and Todd and Derek face the rain in a brand new challenge. You're watching Go on Shaw TV Channel 4. Monday night's City Council meeting here in Nanaimo had a presentation from Brian Clemens about the budget. What were some of the priorities that were highlighted there?
Well, it's a budget for 2015, of course, and let's remember there's an election coming up in the middle of November, and so we will continue down the path of getting the budget in place, but it'll be the council of the day in mid-November that continues on into 2015. Remember, this is the 2015 budget. A lot of it was comparison figures. They provided figures, Brian Clements provided figures from 2008, and in the interim 5-year period ending 2013, changes in it.
And this is something that the public likes to get involved with.
Absolutely.
This is something that
Absolutely.
people have a say. It's the taxpayers' money that's being spent, and the report that was presented last night is available on the City of Nanaimo's website. And you're looking at a second budget, third E-Town Hall meeting coming up.
Right. And that's something that we really are excited about. I think part of the goal initially was to try to attract the younger people into becoming involved in politics. Get involved. This is the new generation. They're going to be taking over and running the city and running the world in time. And we're trying to say, get ready now, get involved now, and I think in most cases they'll enjoy getting involved and seeing what's out there. So
I'm going to switch just a little bit because I was going to ask you, when is the deadline to put your name in to run for council or mayor, talking about getting involved?
I believe, I was going to check with Philip Cooper, but I believe it's probably around the 25th of this month of September.
Okay.
I believe it's so it's probably 3 weeks away, roughly.
Things are going to start getting a little bit crazy pretty soon.
As it gets closer and closer, and people get twitchy, and as it gets closer, and see what's happening.
And have you officially announced
No,
yet?
I haven't, actually.
Not yet. I guess we'll know by the 25th, right?
Well, maybe midnight on the 24th. We're working
Midnight on the 24th. Now, just to get back on topic, any town hall meeting is a way that people can participate via Twitter, via Facebook, via telephone, or in person. That's going to run on September the 29th, 7 o'clock, specifically related to the 2015 budget.
Budget, yeah.
Okay.
Any of the social media they can use to access it. And as you say, they can phone in, they can come in person, they can send it in by mail, however they wish. But, if you've got a question, come and ask or get the message to us, the question to us. And we're certainly going to do our best to, give a very comprehensive answer to it. Okay. Brian Clements, our Director of Finance, does a great job, very knowledgeable, very bright individual. And he has a very, very good command and control of the budgeting process. So he'll be there to assist us as well.
Okay. Taking you in another direction again, you ever done any drumming? Any hand
drumming? No, not really, and not officially.
Okay, well, we're going to have a look at a story next that you might want to go out and join them one day. It looks like it's quite an experience to get involved
with
drumming. I'm not exactly...
Only for women.
Women?
Only for women. It's Kelly's story. Here she is now with some drumming. You're watching Go. I lost track of how many times at Monday night's Nanaimo City Council meeting the word referendum was tossed up into the air. You know it's an election year because everybody's scared to make a decision. Is that what's happening?
Well,
a little tongue in cheek.
I don't know. Maybe it might be. Anyway, I think more that when it comes to the election, people are starting to say maybe that we'd like to hear from everyone in the whole community. But the reality is that's pretty hard. Mm-hmm. There are some decisions, major decisions that have to go to referendum, and certainly the use of a park and
that was one of them. The use of the park at the Hilton Hotel site.
Yeah, it's the Georgia Park there.
Right.
That there's a piece of it that they are looking at leasing.
And that's just the little hill, the little bit of the hill on top. Okay.
The little bit of
a hill. I've never seen anybody use it personally.
No, but any use of a dedicated park requires a referendum, public assent, and that's what we're looking at now on that one.
Colliery Dam referendum.
People had suggested that.
SPCA referendum.
I don't know that that's such a big one, but the Colliery Dams was a huge one, and in hindsight, maybe that would have been a better option at the time.
At the beginning.
At the beginning. Referendums are not inexpensive, $100,000 to $125,000 to do that, and sometimes if you can tie it in with an election, yes, the cost can be reduced. But
when you're elected to sit in a position to make decisions, you need to be able to take one on the chin every now and then and make a decision, right?
We don't always decide the right way, always. We all have our own beliefs. There's 9 of us, and consensus is always a challenge. But by and large, it's our responsibility to make those decisions, and hopefully the majority of them work. And I'm a little hesitant to throw it back and say, well, let's referendum myself. But there are times when it has to be done.
Excellent. Thank you. I know Todd and Derek always have a consensus when they're trying to make decisions on what move to make next in Clocked. It's a new episode next. A Humdurgan, who would have thunk it? Well, I did, and I thought I'd stump them, but it didn't really work. It's not about winning or losing, it's about providing you with an entertaining show here on Shaw TV. That does bring us to the end of this edition of Go Island. Something to mention before we go, the inaugural Seafood Chowder Festival is coming up on Saturday, September the 20th, and I'm pretty excited to be a judge in that event, along with some other people from the community. It runs at Lucky's Liquor Store in the parking lot. The Big Mess is going to be playing. If you haven't experienced that band, they are awesome. I am a big fan of the Big Mess. They'll be playing. There's also entertainment for the kids, bouncy castles, and a whole lot of seafood chowder. You can bring a donation for Nanaimo Loaves and Fishes. That is September the 20th from 11:30 until 3:30. That brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Lakeside Dental Clinic Go Island is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic, a division of the Vancouver Island Implant Centre, delivering dental services, including dental implants and sedation dentistry, all under one roof. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions. Kate's Hair and Aesthetics provided by Maffeo Salon.